God damn. You've been around for a while, huh? Listen, since I don't do the... Wait, am I hearing myself somehow? Weird. But yeah, since I don't do the... Just a second. Blah, 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 blah. Just gonna pause this. Yeah, I can hear myself for some reason. Why? Okay, I think it's fixed itself now. For some reason, my microphone was just bouncing into my own headset. No idea why. Uh, but it was literally one of those things you fix by have you tried plugging it out and then in again? And yeah, that'll do it. All right. Shit, I forgot to put multi-stream chat. Let me see here. Yeah, it's stupidly annoying. Also, thanks, Dayuki. I'm having a lot of fun with Crimson. Listen, as soon as I finish Death Vigil 2, I am moving back into uh, Fine Print because I literally can't wait to jump into Fine Print 4 because like this is the part where shit gets wild. It's one of those things where it's like all this time, I've been kind of sitting on Lauren and Matthew because I'm like, like this is not the time when they become super interesting. Like the idea is that they're very human, that they're just fuck ups until they're not. And then it's kind of one of those wait for it types of characters where all of a sudden shit gets absolutely wild. Oh, I can't wait to get my own copies of the Crimson Book. Like I've seen the sample. My buddy Matt actually made a video showing the pages how they printed. I'm not kidding. I don't know what kind of fucking printer they went through. This looks better than literally anything I've ever made. The precision with which that thing was calibrated was literally like, holy shit. The color saturation intensity, it's straight off the actual fucking file. Like there's no compensation for this or that or that. No, these maniacs did magic. Amber, it's true. Am I based in Europe? Yes. How is the comic industry like in Europe compared to USA and Japan? I wouldn't know. I'm generally working in US. Most of my books are basically just kind of either indie stuff that I publish through Image Top Cow or just kind of DC work for hire when I feel like that. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a nice, quick little sunstone piece, Ali and Lisa. Just I got a little Pride Month joke that I'm gonna make with this, and it's gonna be really cool. And yes, it's a stupid pun because with me, it's either like a really fucking long built-up joke that has a really massive payoff, or just a series of endlessly stupid puns. So you know. Hey, Henke. I know. I made such a better brush this time. And then it just, man, it just dynameshes so well. Funny thing is that hair caused me such a crash out when I was trying to fix it at first. Then like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a new brush. It's gonna be bigger and better hookers and blackjack. So I did. Turns out I was right about the bigger and better. The other part was just kind of that one didn't manifest. Smooth directional was such a big tip. Holy shit. Thanks for getting me that video. Like that was just I knew at some point I remember I've heard about that brush and just it completely just escaped my brain. It was like, well, I'm here. Anyways, I'm off now. You know? But yeah, now it's a permanent staple. Whenever I have to sculpt hair, smooth directional is my baby. For those of you confused, I do a lot of 3D sculpting on the side because it's been a hobby that then I got way too serious about, and I do a lot of stuff that Henke here then preps and then 3D prints for me. And recently I've been having some trouble with some hair on a sculpt where I did it too narrow, so it would cause problems with printing. And fixing it was a pain in the ass until I decided, fuck it, made a new sculpting brush and kind of built it up with that, and it worked wonderfully. And one of the big things was realizing that there's a smoothing brush in ZBrush that basically can smooth directionally while preserving the shape. So when I do the detailing on the hair, if I hit smooth on it, like it's going to smooth the overall shape, but not like uh, the detail. It's weird. I don't know how it works, but it just works. Yeah, ZBrush is a thing that's basically learned in pieces from a million unconnected videos, and then just like one day you're like, I know this, and I was like, yeah. This is Clip Studio. This is my preferred painting software. Cheaper than Photoshop, you get to own it. Misses some things from Photoshop, but for what it misses, it pays back in massive fucking dividends. Like, it's got so many things that Photoshop doesn't, and one of its best ones is its brush tech. Like, it's just for painting so much better. Been using this. My wife got me into it after years of persuasion to try it. I'm like, I had every intention of trying it, and she's like, she just buys me one for birthday. And I'm like, well, shit. Now I guess I can't procrastinate anymore. So I tried it and went, yo, this thing slaps, and yeah, here we are. Yeah, I've been using Huons now for the last 4 years. Uh, Still in perfect condition, very stable. The package overall is much better because Wacom has over time just kind of removed every extra thing from their tablets. It was like, oh well, you get the basic tablet. There you go. Go fuck yourselves. While Wacom did that, yeah. But Huon was like, here's a stand, here's this, here's that, here's the other. I'm like, you know what? Let me try it. Tries it. Realized I prefer Huon. So here we are. Sad after all the years that I've been using Wacom. I was very happy with them, but then their drivers stopped supporting old Photoshop, and I was like, well, that's a bit of a deal breaker for me because I still use it for lettering mostly and like making comics where lettering is involved. But so yeah, I just never liked new Photoshop because it's a massive piece of shit bloatware. Now with AI, woo! Artists for decades. Hey, can you add some stuff for artists? You know, like the specific things that we've been requesting for like brush making and this and that and the other. No, no. Best we can do is slap on some slop on. Man, how the mighty have fallen. What's my take on the Kickstarter Strive debacle? It's fucking abysmal that a payment provider gets to dictate people what they can spend their money on. But they walked it back, so we'll see for how long, though. Yeah, here's the thing. Clip Studio was literally like, hey, what do you think of us adding AI? Literally everybody like, go fuck yourself. And they were like, message received. And yeah, that's when I realized that Clip Studio, for a while at least, is going to be the one. Them and what's his name, Procreate. Yeah, like I'm okay with subscriptions if you have an option to buy a thing. Like sometimes people don't have the money to pay for a whole thing. I know, I've been there. That's how I got started back in the early days, you know? I had to do a whole lot of fucking work all over the place to actually afford to buy a Photoshop at the time. But so like, you know, some sort of a subscription model where it's like, hey, you know, until you do here, this much a month and go nuts, you know? So like I'm okay with subscription being an option. I'm not okay with it being the only option. Because I am very much not a fan of the current of thought, where it's like, you know, you will own nothing, you will rent everything, we will own your lives, you know? Nah, not a fan of that. Sure, I'm gonna... Yeah, that's basically that's the end game of all these systems. It's just, you know, uh, shackle everybody in financial slavery and then just kind of own them. It's a fucked up world. It's always been a fucked up world, but we're finding new and exciting ways to fuck it up, you know? And then the same people who do that end up confusedly making articles of, oh, why why doesn't Gen Z and Gen X, why they don't want to get married, they don't want to settle down, they don't want families. This is a terrible crisis. It's like, you fucker, they can't even afford their own lives. Hey, people. Yep. Also, part of me wants to make a picture of Meryl in one of those Pride Month T-shirts that has demon in the middle, highlighted in rainbow, and just her going like, "Oh, fuck off," and Laura just dying laughing. It's just. And then it's just a matter of people who read fine print understanding, and people who haven't going like, what's the joke? Also, another reason why I can't wait for Fine Print 4, because that's where the whole subplot of Meryl and Laura gets kicked off. Because, like, they already are sort of a thing. Not perhaps a romantic thing, but a thing. Two love haters. Totally against all that shit. Ugh. All right. See ya, people. I wonder if one can get a skin condition from excessive lip biting. No, but there's going to be a scene later on where she bites her lip while trying to seductively walk away from Ali, then trips and bites her lip too hard, and then has a whole situation. Because this is Sunstone, and everybody fucking finds that banana peel sooner or later. Hey, esoteric. Ali and Alan's college days has like one of my absolute all-time favorite scenes when they're in that motel, and Ali goes like, "I'm gonna oil up this sheet." Wahoo! Patience, Tayuki. We gotta pace out these things. But when it happens, it's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna go from fucker to oh motherfucker, just real quick. It's gonna be just fantastic. was my pen pressure was set too hard because I was working in Photoshop. Well, yeah, and also she doesn't look like herself when the face isn't fully defined yet. But yeah, the mole is a big part of it. I have not seen Penguin. Haven't had the time. Now that right there is valid. Who wants to handle the paperwork? So basically 95% there. We could all do a bit more of missing out on the drama. Not gonna lie. Truly, you are of agent of change, Revamp. I'm gonna be doing exact this specific thing, which changes literally nothing. Real and valid. Hey, Franco. Thanks for doing that. Hmm. Yeah, I'm still not there yet, but I've gotten quite proficient. Listen, you gotta suspend the disbelief somewhere. Because if I involved that, then it's Sunstone. I would actually go into that shit, and then you'd have so many pages of just managing travels and shit, and the random mishaps during that. So, but you have to compromise, and you get a few bus rides, and that's it. No, I know. Problem is, this is also storytelling, and like it's just we we'd have like 1,000 pages, and I wouldn't even be done with the first arc. I get it, lesbian yearning and all that, but life doesn't have pacing. Stories do. Anyways, if you want long distance travel lesbians, then fucking fine prints there for you. These ones travel literally between the entire realms. All to tell each other it's not like I even like you, whatever. They'd have a scene of passionate sex, and then afterwards think, but what does she really think about me? Does she really like me? Which technically that is actually Sunstone's plot, so I'm 10 out of 10 on that one. Oh my god. Funny thing is, that's actually what got me down this rabbit hole of doing so many characters of these specific sexualities. Is once I started listening to the stories that people told me of their lives and everything, like you realize, oh my god, this is like that. This is an endless well of hilarity, fun, and intense emotional anguish. Why are we not funding this? Then I realized, oh shit, now I gotta make a story about these kinds of people, lesbians, and these kinds of gay guys, and these kinds of, like literally, like it's just like, shit, there's too much. The plot lines. Oh no, I don't know Shadow Clone Jutsu. I'm fucked. She just being nice. Like, just you start when people actually tell you story like this. This is one of those things. Like, you can write these stories as a comic writer and just kind of just toss in tropes and just connect them vaguely with some little scenes and everything, and call it a day. But the moment you actually start fucking listening to people and their stories, you realize, oh my god, this is so much more entertaining and so much more fun if you make it human. And what you do to do that is just let them be absolute fuck ups, like every single person ever. And then you realize, oh god, romance is the most fun genre to write. And anyways, here I am. Oh yeah. Hey, Natasha. Yeah, because that's really the like these kinds of stories require two things to work. One is genuine chemistry, not just hey they're pretty. Pretty will get you as far as a Hollywood movie gets you, when it comes to convincing romance. But what you need is genuine chemistry. Like, uh, you need to see them work on some level. Sometimes it's a completely broken level, but on that one broken level, they work perfectly. It's their breakfast of Tiffany's. Like nothing works, but what about breakfast at Tiffany's? We both kind of like this film, and it's like we're gonna build around that. And like there needs to be at least that. And you know, the rest of it is just embrace the absolute fuckery that is human nature, Like, oh hey, I have a plan. It's not gonna work. Oh hey, we're gonna do this. It's not gonna go according to plan. Oh hey, this is what I'm gonna do to win this person over. You are going to slip on a banana peel is what you're gonna do. Oh yeah, I never stopped making them. Currently, I'm working on book 9 of that. I got 3 books of Fine Print, which is a sister series to this, but a bit more supernatural. This thing has over the course of years taken over my life to the point where I very rarely have time to do any other stuff but my own work, and that is like fucking living the dream. Creatively speaking, I am in paradise. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's everybody. Everybody's got those stories. Linda and I have stories that we are never gonna tell anybody, but if we did, there would be ruptured spleens from laughter. Like there are stories. What? No, but like that's the thing, because everybody's got those stories. Because literally, there's not a one person who's ever had a relationship go like, well, this is how we're planning it, and this is how it's gonna work, and then we die. So fucking all right. Life went according to plan. Cool. You led a boring life. The most interesting part of life is stumbling and then fucking figuring out how to fix that. Every painter paints himself. Well, I make a very conscious effort not to put me or Linda in these stories or our specific experiences. Like there are a few small things, few small details that are inspired by some of the things that we did, but they're like so vague that nobody would ever be like, "Oh, I see," and say, "No, you don't." Our lives are far less believable than people would think, and if we told them, they'd be like, "That's bullshit." I'm like, well, valid. But yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's got those stories. If you lived life, you fucked up in wonderfully creative ways, and if you hedged your bets on everything and waited for everything in your life and just, sat around and hid yourself from everything, then yeah, you probably don't. And I've been on both sides of that. So the part with the characters making deals with elder gods was based on my life. Yeah, that's how I got the art skills. It's, you know, you crack open the Necronomicon, you start mumbling, and shit happens. Hey, Nexi. Hey, Cipliosama. Up until book, as far as I know, only one genre of music gets explicit name. There's two genres of music, musicals and metal, mostly because they kind of technically meet one of the cast members during a metal concert, so that's why. There are other genres of music, it's just that they weren't relevant. And as far as musical tastes go, mine are literally all over the place, so not really author's taste, just, I can name drop a metal band as much as I can a rapper. It's basically one of those things. I write what the characters are. That's the only thing that matters. So my tastes are irrelevant in all of that. In fact, I always make a very conscious effort to just kind of remove myself from my own characters. That's not saying I don't have stuff in common with them. I have stuff in common with a lot of people. But yeah, it's the fastest way to make a thing boring. Oh, motherfucker, I went on the wrong layer, didn't I? Yep, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, my avatar is just Alan because it's a really funny shot. Ever since I drew it, it's literally been one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. Just that absolute shrug life. It's beautiful. I want to make myself a t-shirt of that. There's a few scenes in Sunstone that just make me go like, this is perfect. This is peak. It's all downhill from here. Do I just tend to undo when I'm on the wrong layer? If it's a wrong layer where it's a select where it's easily selectable, I will just cut it out and just paste it on the right layer and merge that. But if it's a wrong layer and then I've been drawing over something else at the same time, then I just undo it. Funny thing is, I've always used my own characters as avatars. That's been the case back since I went by Nebezial on like a bunch of forums. I used my character Nebezial from Ravine as both the avatar and username, not because I specifically related to the character or was like, oh, that's a self-insert. If anything, Stein was more of a self-insert than Nebezial was, because like initial drawings that started Ravine was just like, hey, I'm gonna draw Linda in an armor. I'm gonna draw myself as some dude, some fantasy dude. Like, you know, no, I didn't write myself as in the way that I am. So I didn't write him as me, is what I'm saying. But I use Nebezial mostly because, well, it's a made-up name that literally nobody had, so it was like very easy to use on forums. That's why even now, like on a lot of stuff, you see me use a variant of that. I have a massive flaw in my process with these things, that even when I actually make a sketch, I'm just so impatient with these sketches to the point where it's like I don't really resolve issues during the sketch phase, and then I leave myself to kind of have to deal with that shit when I'm actually painting. And man, I wish I would stop that. Wish I could just focus up and like resolve all the shit in the sketch phase, and then I could just, have a painting that actually goes properly from beginning to end without me having to paint over a fuck ton of anatomical mistakes, posing errors, compositional muddiness, and all that shit. But that's never gonna happen. Yeah, I don't do a lot of pinups either, mostly because I don't have the time, but also because I'm not actually good at pinups. I can make a good pinup. Don't those two things aren't the same thing. When I say I'm not good at pinups, I mean it doesn't really come natural to me. There's people who will just pop up pinups like crazy, no problem, because they think in that way. Their mind works in those kinds of compositions. My mind works in comic compositions and narrative storytelling. So my priority always tends to be like, hey, I want to have these characters interact in a canonical looking, believable way. So I'm gonna, focus on this and that, and body language of this and that. And through all of that, I tend to kind of neglect stuff like composition and posing and stuff like that, for like, I toss it aside for the sake of my own priorities. And So I will make a good thing. It's just not gonna be necessarily a good pinup. Yeah, it's got its qualities. I'm never gonna say, it's like what I do is bad, but it can be better. It's good, but it can be better. Man, the one good thing from that movie. God, man, I still. Why'd I have to remind myself of it? If I had a magical pencil that brought to life everything I drew, would I use it? If I would use it, why did I use it to draw that visual things? Listen, sometimes the great old ones need to exist too. Come on now. Yeah, Philly. If I could draw that, I could just draw money. Or I could just draw a giant fucking robot. Have you considered that? Huh? It's better than money. It's like, oh, here's money. Here's a fucking giant mecha that I can pilot. Enters mecha, realizes doesn't know how to pilot a mecha. Fuck! Fine, I'm gonna draw this dragon and ride it. Oh shit, I don't like the heights. Well, back to the old money plan. Yeah, we're better off without the pencil, not gonna lie. The actual kind of ride, not the ride that these two are gonna have. Which is, by the way, part of the actual pun that I'm gonna make for this. File, save. And then to do the super important thing of checking my retainers on Final Fantasy XIV. Actually, I should probably end the stream now because I have to finish the Harley Quinn cover and I have to finish at least 2 pages of the DC book that I'm doing before I get back to that visual. So that's actually gonna be what I do right now. Because work needs to be done. Can't just have fun. So, thank you for being here.